Okay, tonight I'm gonna make my very first fly tying video. I'm gonna show you guys how to tie this shrimp that I've been doing. This pattern looks really good in the water. It sinks slowly, about this kind of speed here, and it sinks in an upright position. Looks great in the water. Very durable fly. Um, should be a great fly for snook, speckled trout, redfish, that type of thing. First, we're going to start off with Gamakatsu SP11 3L 3H size 1 hook. Get it tight in your vise, obviously. Okay, first what I've done is laid down a thread base that I'm going to use to secure a piece of 20-pound test Mason's hard mono to make a double weed guard. This way we can throw this fly right up in the places where these fish like to hang out without worrying about hanging up too much. I'm not going to try to edit this video, so if I sound a little goofy from time to time, so it's just my personality, you'll have to deal with that. So just wrap that down and apply a little bit of glue. I use Turbo Fuse glue. It's my favorite type of glue, but probably just about any sort of super glue type of glue will do the job. So from here, the first thing that I do is I use 6 pieces about 8 inches long of bead and stretch string. And basically what this is it's a stretchy, clear material that is used for craft bead type of necklaces and things like that. You can get it at Walmart. You can get it at Michael's, Joann's, places like that. But it's very durable, very stretchy. And when you use a heated bodkin, it'll make a nice kink to create a look of a joint for our legs on our shrimp pattern. So I'm going to use 3 pieces that are about 8 to 10 inches long. That's a little bit longer than we need, but we're going to cut those to shape and size later on. So what I do then is fold them in half and then just tie them down one time around the middle like this. And then I'll fold the others back and then just lay down the thread over them to get them kind of flowing in a fanned out short sort of pattern off of the back of the hook. We just leave it down there laying down there with the weed guard. From here I use a cream craft fur, and this is going to be I skipped a step. First we use a little bit of SLF saltwater dub. We're just going to take and tie this in, just a pinch of it like this. Tie this in right here on top of that. And what that's going to be for is that's going to be kind of our under mouth area, that kind of thing on the front of the shrimp. Okay, tie that in there like that. Make sure it's good and secure. So then we'll come with our piece of craft fur that is going to be basically the horn of the shrimp. We're going to lay that along here about like this. Okay, cut your clump off, clean out some of the short fibers. We don't need those. This is just going to be for the long part of the fly, just to give it a little bit of length off the back of the hook. So then we'll tie that in like this. We're not going for neatness here, so none of that's a big deal. We're just going to tie that down. So ahead of time, I have cut and burned 2 pieces of 30-pound Mason's hard mono to create eye stems and the burnt mono ends of the eyes for the shrimp pattern. What I like to do, and probably is not the best thing, but your dentist probably loves it, I like to just pinch the mono between my teeth, kind of create a little kink like this. So then I'll put this along the side of the horn there, tying that down. We're going to leave this long for right now. We're going to use that in just a minute. Fold that back just a little bit, just so that it kind of cants off of the side of there just a little bit. and just kind of protrudes. And we're going to do the same thing with this other eye on the other side. Okay. So now we've got those good and secured. Then we're going to wind that down pretty tight. Coming about here, about halfway back on the space that we have available here. And we're going to take these pieces here and fold them back forward. And what we're going to do with that is just basically kind of create a little bit of a thicker part of the body there. And use it as an underbody sort of thing, so that when we lay the dubbing down, we're going to wrap forward just a little bit more so that we can get some dubbing on the body to kind of create the underside of the fly. That kind of mimics the legs on the bottom of the shrimp, the little cute little looking legs. So from here, I'm going to take and make a dubbing loop that's about 5 inches long or so. Wrap that thread down, and I'll take and throw in a half hitch so that I can use the arm off the front of the vise to move the thread bobbin out of the way. I'll attach my dubbing tool to the thread, and I'll apply just a little bit of dubbing wax to stick that dubbing into that loop really nice and tight. And we're going to create a little bit of dubbing here in this loop. We don't want it falling apart, so make sure that you're putting that dubbing right in the middle of the fibers. And we're going to do the dubbing loops in 2 different stages. We're going to come to about here with the dubbing, then we're going to go over top of the body with another material, and then we're going to start another dubbing loop. And that way we can, some of the shrimp patterns that I've seen before, that body material across the shell part of the shrimp would have to either be secured some way or something along those lines to keep it from separating from the body of the fly. And the way that we approach that problem is to do this in 2 steps so that the fly can be light, there's no wire or any of that sort of thing that's holding that shell down. And we're going to use a combination of UV cured glue and liquid fusion urethane, and that combination really, when it dries and cures, it's all really super light and very, very durable. So here we go with the dubbing loop. I'm going to spin that up, get it nice and tight. Now from here, I use a pet brush to tease out the dubbing. It does a good job of it. It does a fine, quick, easy deal there. So now we're going to just take in our rotary feature of the vise and just wrap that dubbing around the body here. Come to about right there. And then we'll come back with our thread and work it back into position so that we can tie off that dubbing loop and get that out of the way for now. Come back and just tie that off. Pass that over a time or 2. Easy. We're going to cut this dubbing loop out of the way. Come back with our brush again and kind of tease out that fiber, making sure that we haven't pinched our eyes down with the thread. Do that right there. Tease that material down. Okay, so now here what I have is some dubbing that I've made from 100% acrylic yarn. I've taken some of the tan material and used 2 of those pet brushes and some gold EP sparkle, not gold, it's copper, EP sparkle in there. And once it's got a little bit of that UV cure on it and that liquid fusion, it turns very translucent. And we're just going to take a small pinch of it. And once this is on there, we're going to apply just a little bit of UV cure just to hold it in place down in a smooth kind of position for the time being. Just a little pinch of it. We're going to tie it in right here in the middle of it, right here like this. Okay, tie that down and fold that over and just catch the very edge of the front part of that. And so from here, I'm going to take a little bit of UV resin, use whatever kind you like, and I'm just going to smooth that into the material. And it's just basically, I'm just using this as a temporary thing. And you can see how it's kind of changed the effect of that dubbing that I've made with the yarn. It's kind of turned it a little bit smooth and translucent. Maybe the lighting's a little bit hard to tell.